I don't have my wax up here, so I'm just going to play a few songs to show you kind of what I do. I use Serato with iPad controller. There's I use Touch OSC, which is an app, very $10 app, but you can basically make your own. You can make your own interface. So what I've done here is I have different pages. And this particular one, I have three pages. So this is one of them. This is my main one. And it has a set of a couple of things. This is like I use these as different controllers. I use these buttons to configure which effects are hitting each deck. And then and it kind of corresponds to how things look in Serato. And then these are, again, these different things I use to turn the effects on and off. And they just control different effects that I have loaded in Serato. That's what this page does. My next page is cue points. So I use this to, kind of like have different things start. Which I have 5 on each side because that's the maximum with Serato. Then my last page is my samples, and I kind of go back and forth with what I'm doing with my samples, but generally I try to, how should I put it, do bass notes. So these are all 808s. They're all tuned differently, so I can kind of do, it's like A through F, so I can kind of do certain things with this. I can't really hear this room right now, but I use this to trigger. So that's basically the setup. You see how one of the main effects I use is just, it's a combination of the filter roll with the mod synth and the high pass filter where I'll kind of latch on to certain, usually about this setup, people are seeing obviously a wireless controller, and I've spent a few years trying to figure it out because it can be tricky sometimes. And this is a tip to anyone who wants to actually do an iPad or any sort of wireless controller, and that is you want to reduce the wireless steps. And by that I mean, the laptop itself can become an ad hoc network. You can connect it direct. However, when you do it that way, you can run into interference problems. Also, the antennas on most laptops are not that great. I mean, it's okay for you're really close or you're in a controlled environment, but when you're in a club and you have a lot of, there could be wireless mics going on, there's usually a million cell phones in the audience, all these things contribute to problems that you have, usually interference problems with the wireless network. So what I've done in recent times, this is going back and forth with different software developers, the people who make Touch OSC, as well as the people who make a thing called an oscillator, which takes these Touch OS, the OSC messages from this and turns it into MIDI. That's usually where things can go wrong. So the way I've gone around that is this computer right here is actually the Wi-Fi is turned off. Instead, I have an Ethernet that comes out USB that goes to a router that's right here. It's actually just like a router as you would expect that's wired. So the actual laptop itself is wired to a wireless router and has its own password system that people can't log on and mess with because of this.
Chains and rings, all the brother, grew up crying things, gold is back in town, sitting on a service. My dreams, serving this royalty, trust what I say.